The Mavericks begin the post-Nico Harrison era tonight as they welcome in Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. We'll get you ready for tonight's game. Coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Welcome to the DLLS Mavs pregame show powered by Michelob Ultra. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra at 2.6 carbs at 95 calories. It's a superior, smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the NBA. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Carella and the returning Tanner Rotman. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, covering your team as we get ready for the Mavericks taking on the Phoenix Suns tonight in the post-Nico Harrison era as it begins at the AAC. We'll let you know who's in, who's out, what to look for in tonight's game, and we'll get to the Carella Strader scouting report here momentarily on this wonderful Wednesday. Bobby Carella, how are we feeling tonight?
Feels like the beginning of a new era for sure. You know, I woke up today excited about the Mavs. People that I talked to were excited about the basketball, excited about the team. And by people I talked to, I mean like my friends, my family, like just the people that are in my life.
So you got a sourcing call that you're going to
No, I had none. I don't have any sources at all. But it really does feel like, but like we said on yesterday's show, it's not like a sunny and beautiful day outside. Basically, the rainstorm happened and it's still cloudy outside and it's still a little windy. And it's still spitting some drops every now and then, but like it's safe enough to come outside, assess the damage, make sure your windshield didn't get smashed in by a fallen tree or anything. We just get ready to move forward. And so it's a new day, and I'm excited for it.
Yes, and as you see on our title card, a new dawn for this team after firing Nico Harrison did the Mavericks yesterday after 4+ seasons as president and general manager. This team, 280 some odd days removed from the Luka Doncic trade, will now begin to pick up the pieces moving forward as a franchise to chart a potential new course under the direction of Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley, who are the co-interim GMs moving forward for this team. Their nights begin in earnest with the Phoenix Suns coming into town. If you're going to be watching tonight's game, tip-off will be at 7:30 p.m. at the AAC. You can watch it on KFAA Channel 29, of course, with the Suns coming in at 6-5, 1-4 away from Phoenix so far this year. Meanwhile, your Mavericks 3-8, 2-5 at home so far this year. Suns 2.5-point favorite coming into tonight's action, with the over-under at 227.5. Let's get you the lay of the land of both these teams coming into tonight. Of course, we start with your home team in the Dallas Mavericks at 3-8 on the year, 14th in the Western Conference, coming off a difficult loss on Monday after blowing what was a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter to lose to Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks 116-114 to start off their current 4-game homestand. Unfortunately, at 0-1, that continues tonight with the Phoenix Suns and will continue on Friday when they welcome in the banged-up Los Angeles Clippers at the AAC. Unfortunately for the Mavericks so far this year, third worst point differential in the Western Conference in the first 11 games, as only the Kings and the Pelicans, the only teams worse so far as point differential. Meanwhile, for the Phoenix Suns, on a little bit of a roll as of late, they're 6-5 coming into tonight, 7th in the West. They're coming off a big win on Monday over the New Orleans Pelicans, where Grayson Allen went absolutely berserk on the New Orleans Pelicans, going for 42 points, knocking down a career high and franchise record 10 3-pointers, including going 5 for 5 from 3 in that third quarter with 17 points against the Pelicans. Phoenix has won 5 of their last 6 games after what was a 1-4 start for them. They're on the first night of a road home back-to-back. They've got Dallas tonight before they return home to Phoenix when they take on the bottom-feeding Eastern Conference Indiana Pacers tomorrow night in Phoenix. So far, they are 6-5 against the Western Conference. They haven't played an Eastern Conference opponent yet. They'll play their first Eastern Conference opponent. Yeah, they have played all 11 of their games so far against the West. The Pacers will be their first Eastern Conference opponent tomorrow night when they go back home.
Starting off tough, huh?
Yeah, I mean, to come out 6-5 after playing your first 11 games against the West and starting off 1-4. That's not a bad recovery for the Phoenix Suns, which gets us to the Corellustrator scouting report tonight, focusing on the Phoenix Suns and their star in one Devin Booker.
Yeah, so this was like a complete, rebrand, reimagination of the team. I mean, we're talking about the Mavs, who are starting anew to a degree tonight. Phoenix, new coach, KD on a new team, Bradley Beal gone. Like it's like a brand new era, and
tough times for Bradley Beal. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it sucks for him, but it was kind of built as like a new era in Phoenix, right? It's going to be a young team. We're going to play a different style. They are playing a slightly different style, but it's not really a young team at all. I'm not hating on Phoenix, but I'm calling them a liar, because here is Phoenix's age in terms of order of minutes played, like most minutes per game. Devin Booker 29, Grayson Allen 30, Royce O'Neal 32, Dylan Brooks 30, Mark Williams 24, Ryan Dunn 23. Okay. Colin Gillespie or Gillespie. Is it a hard G or a soft G?
I think it's a soft G, actually.
Okay, well, that guy, Colin, 26 years old. Those are all the guys playing more than 16 minutes a game. So Phoenix is actually pretty old. In fact, they have the 8th oldest average age. How would you say that? They're the 8th oldest team
in the league,
in the NBA by average age, which is really surprising, because I would have thought that they would have been young. But, I mean, they're clearly retooling, and they've come out of this on the other side better off for it.
That's without Kevin Durant.
From our friend, our colleague Steven over at PHNX. Go watch the PHNX Suns pre and post game after this too. Good dudes over there. Since October 29th, which I'm pretty sure is when that 6-game stretch began, Phoenix is 8th in overall offensive rating and 8th in half-court offensive rating. So it's not like they're just running or scoring in the half-court. They're scoring well everywhere. 3rd in defensive rating and 4th in half-court defensive rating. They're good all over the place. They're just good everywhere. Now, Devin Booker is still their alpha. He's scoring a ton of points, but he's also distributing the ball at a really, really high level this year. He's had games so far of 13 assists, 10, 9, 9, 7, 7, and 7. He is passing the ball at a really high level, and they've won a lot of games despite missing Dylan Brooks a lot. They've won a lot of games out Jalen Green. He's only played 2 games this year, and who knows when he's going to play again. So a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unsteadiness in Phoenix, but their best player is playing some of the best basketball of his career. They have a new coach. Everyone's bought in. They're playing hard at both ends of the floor, and they're seeing results. And so, hopefully the Mavs absolutely curb stomp those guys tonight and send them back to Phoenix all sad. But if nothing else, that is a reason for optimism, I think. Phoenix left a very dark period, a very embarrassing period in their franchise's history, and have put out a product that the fans are proud of and that could be competitive in a really competitive conference. And so, maybe the Mavs can do that as well.
Of course, they're led by first-year head coach Jordan Ott, leading the way for the Phoenix Suns. Their front office being ran by Brian Gregory at this point, who was named to that post before the season started, of course. That gets to our lead story for tonight's game, and obviously we know what it is. You know what it is. The post-Nico Harrison era begins tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. 284 days since the Luka Doncic trade. The Mavericks fired, of course, Nico Harrison yesterday, and now the team charts a new course with new leadership in the interim as they search for a new permanent replacement and now try to get the home crowd back on their side. One of the things that Jason Kidd mentioned during his pregame availability was that he felt like in the waning seconds of the game on Monday when P.J. Washington's trying to step up there and knock down game-time free throws to send the game in the overtime against the Milwaukee Bucks, that those chants were, quote, very disrespectful. There won't be any fire Nico chants tonight as he's no longer, of course, with this franchise. So the question now is, Bobby Karalla, how does this organization begin to pick up the pieces after what has been arguably the darkest period over the last 9 months, even with the drafting of Cooper Flagg? How do they begin to pick up the pieces starting tonight?
All the off-court stuff is left to people that don't play. The on-court stuff, like J. Kidd said in the pregame, all they can do is control what they can control, which is their energy, their effort, their level of locked-inness, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, all that stuff. A couple players talked before the game. Daniel Gafford talked before the game and said that it felt defeating at times to play at home, in the wake of the trade with all the chants and everything, including the other night as P.J. Washington is trying to tie the game with 1 second left. Obviously, fans are totally entitled to their opinion and have the right to voice their opinion. I have no problem with fans chanting. I also have no problem with the players feeling a certain type of way about it. It's the home games have not felt like home games. Now, it still is up to the Mavs to earn fans' trust and support and all of that stuff. I'm not saying like, fans, you need to be loud tonight. I do feel like the fans are going to be really loud tonight. I think it's going to be a really, really electric atmosphere in that building tonight. And, hopefully the players that are on this team, including Anthony Davis, including Caleb Martin, including all the other players that you might or might not want to be here, hopefully they feel the love and support from the fans. That trade was none of their faults. They're out there busting their ass every single night to try and win. And one thing J. Kidd said that I agreed with, granted, not so much the Memphis game. It felt like they really packed it in that night. But they have fought. They have battled. They've played hard. I don't believe they're very good, but you cannot question their desire, to go out there and play hard every single night. And so, hopefully they feel some love from the fans tonight, because whether they win 2 games or 20 games or 40 games the rest of the year, they have to play another 71 games. And it could be a really, 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 really long season if that arena remains a graveyard for the whole time.
Coming up in 4 minutes, we'll be welcoming in our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Herrod Jr. live from the American Airlines Center to get his thoughts and what Jason Kidd also had to say prior to tonight's game. Suns going to be led tonight by Devin Booker, averaging over 28 points per game so far this year. That's 6th in the NBA, while shooting 40% from 3 and over 50% from the field so far in 11 games. Mark Williams going to be manning the defense for Phoenix so far this year, averaging, 9.2 rebounds per game in 10 games so far this year. Meanwhile, P.J. Washington leading the way for the Dallas Mavericks, averaging over 15.5 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per contest in 11 games so far. Cooper Flagg averaging so far 15 points and nearly 7 rebounds per contest, coming off a career-high 26 points on Monday night against the Milwaukee Bucks. This is the first of 3 meetings, the only meeting, though, this year between the Suns and the Mavericks in Dallas. They'll get together later on this year on February 10th in Phoenix. As I mentioned, the only matchup in Dallas between these two teams this season. Last year, of course, the Suns won the season series 3-1, scoring at least 114 points in each of their 3 wins against the Dallas Mavericks. Meanwhile, the Suns come in tonight, one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the league, shooting nearly 39% from downtown, 10th in free throw percentage, 9th in assists per game so far this year, and 16th in offensive rating, 14th in defensive rating, which gets them to 15th, which is right in the middle as far as their overall net rating so far this season. But, of course, these two teams, rivals in the past. We'll see how that continues to move forward as far as their rivalry is concerned. We know how things have changed for both of these teams over the course of the last couple of seasons. But still, when these two teams get together, the intensity ratchets up a little bit. I mean, we've seen fights in the past between Najee Marshall and Yusuf Nurkic. We've obviously known what the rivalry was when these two teams got together in the postseason a few years ago. There will be no shortage of intensity between the Suns and the Mavericks tonight, even in the midst of the changes that not only both organizations have gone through, but obviously most recently for the Dallas Mavericks and the change in terms of their front office and their leadership. Before we welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Herrod Jr., he's going to let you know who's in and who's out along with us and what Jason Kidd had to say. Let's help you win some money tonight when it comes to Prize Picks, courtesy of the Illustrator.
I'm going for glory tonight on Prize Picks. I say that every game.
You do, but you made it count a little bit more on Monday. I did. Yeah, you did.
And I'm trying to go similarly big tonight. So I'm going pretty easy on Coop. Just give me more than 11.5 points. I think he can do that.
He got you there.
Just give me at least 12.
All right.
Grayson Allen, more than 2.5 threes made. He averages like 35 made threes
that
per
one
game.
I'm a little scared for you on because he knocked down 10
I know
on Monday.
There could be a drop-off.
Yeah,
there could be a drop-off.
Yeah.
But here's why I think Grayson Allen is going to have a chance. I'm actually going to take Devin Booker for less than 27.5 points because I think the Mavs will double-team him. J. Kidd teams generally have put a lot of pressure on Booker in the past, and when the ball handler is really good, they have doubled the ball handler. So I think Booker will score less than 27.5 points and hand out more than 5.5 assists.
Okay.
So my $5 four pick power play would pay 20 buckaroos.
Let's go
tonight. If you want to play along, download Prize Picks. Use promo code DLLS when making a $5 lineup, and you will get $50 in moolah that you can use to build lineups of your own on Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Scare money don't make money. Let's make that money.
Exactly.
Before we welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Herrod Jr., we'll let you know who's in, who's out. We'll also focus in on our Mavericks player spotlight taking a look at the rookie sensation, Cooper Flagg. But let's go out to the American Airlines Center and welcome in Ron Harrod Jr. He knows sports. He is on X at Ron Knows Sports. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Doing well. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on the pregame show. Let's go over who's in and who's out tonight. We'll start with the visiting Phoenix Suns. Jalen Green, he's going to be out tonight. He's dealing with a right hamstring strain. In fact, he's going to be out for at least the next 4 to 6 weeks after re-aggravating that injury the other night. So he is going to be out for quite some time for the Phoenix Suns after coming over in the trade that landed Kevin Durant in Houston. Jalen Green going to be out at least 4 to 6 weeks. Meanwhile, Cooper Flagg for your Mavericks is available tonight as he continues to deal with that right thumb sprain. Anthony Davis, he's out once again. In fact, he will miss his 7th straight game with that left calf strain. Interesting things happening with respect to how Patrick Dumont's going about evaluating what Anthony Davis will start to look like before he returns. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Daniel Gafford, though, is available to play tonight. He came into tonight questionable with the right ankle sprain. Unfortunately, Derek Lively II is out once again as well. He will miss now his 9th straight game with that right knee sprain, so he unfortunately is not available. And, of course, Kyrie Irving and Dante Exum continue to remain out. Let's just start there, Ron, with the injury report. What did Jason Kidd have to say with respect to Anthony Davis and also a little bit on Kyrie Irving as well?
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of talked about players progressing, and he didn't say anyone had any major setback, which I know was a positive thing to hear if you're a Mavs fan. But just to be very clear, we still really don't have a timetable for any player. So I can't really tell anybody when Anthony Davis is supposed to return. We didn't hear if he's coming back this week during the homestand. Is it going to be next week? There's no timeline. Derek Lively, again, they said he's progressing, but at one point, we heard maybe about a couple of days or a week, and now we're not hearing any timeline for these players. So sadly, there is no update on which game is a target date or even if it's even a target month for some of these players. So sadly, we don't have those kind of updates, but Jason Kidd did say that they are progressing.
Ron, I want to ask for your own safety. Are you in one of those like optical illusion rooms, or like is the floor tilted or something?
I actually have no idea why it looks like that, but like, look, that's just I'm in the media room still, but my normal desk was taken because it's like 100,000 people there. Pretty big event today. So
you gotta go lay down the law, man. I've seen the videos of you bench pressing dumbbells. You can make them move.
I know. So yeah, I'm doing this from the media room, but the computer's on my lap. I don't know why the ceiling looks crooked, but
does look
so
weird,
I'm sorry if
doesn't it?
anyone's getting this. I hope no one's getting nauseous looking at this, but I apologize.
No, it is giving cruise ship like slanting, like equilibrium's kind of off. So, but that's okay. You're doing the best.
But as we can see, my hairline is still straight,
crisp.
so we can see.
Oh wow!
At least that's good.
Yeah,
at least that's good.
That's not working backwards, unlike what you got with your laptop on your desk. So that's all right. Real quick, because we mentioned, of course, Anthony Davis being out tonight. Very interesting reporting come today from a friend of the show, Tim McMahon of ESPN. Apparently, Patrick Dumont's like, look here, y'all gonna bring me some medicals and some information before I deem the idea of Anthony Davis getting back onto the floor. In fact, he wants information that will let him know that Anthony Davis won't re-injure that calf and be able to be available on the floor, which, I mean, help me out. Seems a little unprecedented in some respects, given obviously the situation that they're dealing with, but also the governor, like, look, bring me the info and we'll make the determination after. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much like medical disputes were reported on really until like recently in the NBA, but I mean, there was a very famous disagreement between Mark Cuban and Donnie Nelson about Dirk's knee in the 2003 Western Conference Finals. Nelly wanted to err on the side of caution, whereas Cuban reported, this all reported, okay, I wasn't there. I was 12 years old. But whereas Cuban was hoping that Dirk could get out there on the floor and wanted him to play. So, I mean, I think there's disagreements a lot, but yeah, I'm sure that they're pretty rare.
Yeah.
Like this level of like disagreement, I think obviously the publicity of it all is pretty rare.
Yes, for sure. So that's something to watch over the coming days to see when Anthony Davis will get onto the floor. Patrick Dumont's going to have a big say apparently, when it comes to that. Let's get to what else did Jason Kidd have to say that was important for you as he got ready for tonight's game?
Yeah, so I mean, he kind of talked about the fire Nico chance. He said it was a little disrespectful in regard to the chance. While Mavs players were at the line, it's him and actually Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington all kind of were on the same accord. They all kind of felt like that was a little nasty. Like they kind of felt like the fans weren't really cheering for them. In the words of PJ Washington, he didn't say that he thought fans were, I guess, against them. But when all the players were asked about, hey, does this kind of feel like a home game? They all like made a different type of face. Dan Gafford made like a long before he spoke to probably think, so he didn't say anything, something he didn't want to say. And it just seemed like they all kind of felt like, hey, this kind of has to stop. And I think Jason Kidd says he hopes that it does stop now that Harrison is gone.
It's arguably the most unprecedented thing that we've seen over the last several months, whether it was immediately after the trade or even into this year, where an organization, players, folks in the organization feel like their home wasn't their home and they would rather play on the road. I mean, we've seen that reported in multiple areas. Folks I've talked to have said the same thing. Like, we would rather have been on the road given the atmosphere at times at the American Airlines Center. And that just added to the black cloud that was hanging over the organization with the continued employment of Nico Harrison, which
it's just sad. I mean, that's why they needed to move on.
Yeah, and the distraction that was Nico Harrison, given everything that's taken place, that has now been removed. So we will see how the atmosphere changes, especially tonight at the American Airlines Center. The person that gave him a lot
thing too.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I know a lot of the players too. I think one of the biggest realizations that I'll probably write about in a big takeaway piece probably tonight and tomorrow morning. We'll see when that comes out. But PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, when talking about Nico Harrison, spoke pretty glowingly of him. It doesn't seem like the players soured on the general manager, at least not the players that are currently here in Dallas. PJ Washington said he actually sent a text to Nico Harrison, just thanking him for the trade, for trading for him, for what he's done for his career. PJ Washington talked about the relationship that he had with Harrison going back to high school. So did Daniel Gafford. So while a lot of Mavs fans have kind of soured on Nico Harrison, it seems that he has established a strong relationship. It seems like with a lot of at least the American players that have spoken at the podium. I'm pretty sure from his time at Nike, he was known as a relationship builder. And clearly a lot of the players here kind of still felt that, even as they've, reached almost 30 years old for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's been well chronicled, the relationships with Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, and others that Nico Harrison had, and that was one of the reasons why the connections made sense with him bringing them here, not just from a personal standpoint, but they fit what was happening at the time. And when that general manager decided that the connection that made everything go was no longer needed in his mind.
Yeah, but that doesn't really affect PJ though. I mean, obviously, it makes the Mavs worse, and so maybe PJ is not going to win a championship this year, or last year, like they might have. But think about it from PJ Washington's point of view. He was in the worst situation in the league in Charlotte, just a absolute.
Him and Gafford in Washington.
They've turned it around a little. Well, they're still bad actually, but he was in a bad situation, bad culture, bad team, bad environment. Got to come here, went to the finals, has gotten to play with Luka and Kyrie and Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson, all these good players. PJ got the maximum allowable extension that he was able to get. Became a cult hero. PJ's career has been going great, since coming to Dallas, good. And so and so I absolutely I think that Nico definitely helped him. And
for sure,
it's totally understandable for him to feel that way. It's because from PJ, PJ is winning at life, dude.
He is,
extremely rich. He's extremely cool. He's very good at basketball. He his boss loved him. It was great. No problems with that at all.
Yeah, no problems with that for sure.
And Daniel Gafford said he had a relationship with. I asked this kind of about the relationships with. I asked both players what was the relationship with the new co-interim general managers. Daniel Gafford spoke more of a relationship. He said that he's since they've been assistant GMs on the team, he's always has a relationship with him. He talks to him. He didn't say anything huge, but he seemed like he had a closer relationship. PJ Washington also said he had a relationship, but didn't really dive into what specifically. Daniel Gafford said he's always been talking to these guys whenever he sees them, and they have a really close relationship.
That gets us to our Mavericks player spotlight on tonight. We focus in on the rookie sensation Cooper Flagg coming off his career high 26 points on Monday night, going 9 of 15 from the field, had put the Mavericks ahead by 1 with that beautiful basket over Giannis Antetokounmpo. Unfortunately, you're getting the great and the really good with Cooper Flagg, but we also made some rookie mistakes, including what was a defensive breakdown that led to a Ryan Rollins basket. Now, interestingly enough, the NBA came back after and looking at the last 2-minute report. They did say that it doesn't mean anything now, obviously, but Cooper Flagg was fouled by Kyle Kuzma on the inbounds pass that led to Cooper Flagg falling and Kyle Kuzma getting a transition dunk that eventually had him up by 3. So for whatever constellation that is, whatever. But at the same time, Cooper Flagg, Tanner, feeling much more comfortable with where he is in his game, and spoke to that after the game on Monday night.
Yeah, I think, it's something I was talking with Ryan about a few minutes ago. It's just I didn't feel anything forced tonight. I thought as a team we did a better job of just being organized and getting what we wanted to get to. And so just felt a little bit of a better flow tonight. I just felt more comfortable out there. And I was kind of just letting things happen and letting it come to me, and nothing really felt forced.
As I watched and listened to him after his postgame, his postgame comments, he seemed a little bit looser, seemed a little more with a little bit more of a smile on his face. I don't know if you noticed that on Monday being there as well, but his answers and the way his body language was much more looser, I would say, is the best word I could come up with. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cooper Flagg is really coming into his own. I mean, Cooper Flagg is, as we saw it, playing through an injury. First was the shoulder thing. We don't know exactly what the shoulder was, but it was some type of shoulder thing. I saw it happen in multiple games, at least 2. And now he has, I think it's a thumb, a finger issue, something on his hand is injured. And I saw him warming up today. He's, joking around. He's knocking down a lot of threes, a lot of mid-range jumpers. He's laughing with the Nike guys that are there and other, different people that are there. It seemed like his energy is picking up, and just from kind of watching him, kind of from my reporter, kind of in the shadows, it seems like the energy is coming up for Cooper Flagg, and I think he should have a big performance tonight.
Let's get to our X Factors in before we end our pregame show. We'll start with this one here. The Mavs got to get out and run. Dallas is so far this year 3rd in the NBA in fast break points, averaging over 19 points a game in transition. Meanwhile, the Suns, they give up a lot of points in transition, giving up nearly 18 points per game. Bobby, it seems like when this team gets out on the open floor, especially Cooper Flagg, as we mentioned, it feels like that's when they're at their best in getting out and running in transition so far this year.
Yeah, they score a lot better than they do in the half court, that's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, the more easy runouts you get, the better. But that also means that you're either forcing misses or turnovers on defense, which is good.
Against this X Factor number 2, Dallas got to limit the second chance opportunities for the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix so far this year, 9th in the NBA in scoring, 16.7 second chance points per game. Dallas this season, they allow the 5th fewest second chance points in the league so far this year. So limiting those opportunities for Devin Booker and other guys to be able to knock down shots off second chances will be available, or should be important for Dallas tonight. Last one we'll get to, we mentioned a little bit earlier with Grayson Allen and the record night that he had on Monday against the New Orleans Pelicans, where he knocked down a franchise record and a career-high 10 3-pointers en route to 42 points. Mavericks got to somehow guard the three-point line against this team. The Phoenix Suns this year score 42.3% of their points per game from the three-point line. That is number 1 in the NBA as far as most points scored from the three-point line. So a lot of their offense comes from knocking down three-pointers. They're going to have to guard tonight and be able to do so rather effectively. Anything else, Ron, from you before we let you go here on this Wednesday night?
Yeah, well, I'm just very curious to see what is, 1, the fan turnout tonight at the game, and 2, what is the energy from the crowd. We talked about how dead kind of the game was, and those two Klay Thompson back-to-back three-pointers. I wonder how fast and how quick kind of the screams and the jumping and the pointing at your jersey, when does that come back? How early does that come back? I think tonight we might get that. I wouldn't be shocked if the first 2 baskets, there's a roar. I'll try to record to see if I can capture it, but I think tonight might be that night for the Dallas Mavericks.
I hope it's very, 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 very loud during intros and all that stuff, but I would understand if it's not. But that's just what I hope.
Ron, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you post-game.
See you post-game.
Bye, Ron.
That's our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Harrod Jr. You can follow him on X at Ron Knows Sports. Before we go, real quick, the starting lineup is out for tonight. For the second straight game, check this out. Brandon Williams gets the start for your Dallas Mavericks at point guard. Brandon Williams, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford, your starting 5 tonight. So, again, Brandon Williams, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, P.J. Washington, and Daniel Gafford, your starting 5 for your Dallas Mavericks to take on Dylan. I was going to say Dylan, whatever his name is. Devin Booker.
Dylan Brooks is on that team.
He is. I was about to put Dylan and Devin Booker's names together. So I was about to go Dylan.
Like Dylan, comma, Booker, comma, and the Suns.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That helps. Appreciate it, Tanner. Making us look good and sound good. Good to have him back here in the DLLS Sports studio after sipping on pina coladas all week long in Cancun. I'm glad to have our guy back in here. That is our DLLS Mavs analyst, Bobby Carella.
Watch along.
The Carella watch along.
That's right.
Taking place tonight. So once you leave here, hop back into DLLS Sports, and our guy, Bobby Carella, going to take you through the Carella watch along tonight between the Mavericks and the Suns. So you don't want to miss that. It was great to see it the first time around. Looking forward to seeing that once again tonight. So make sure you tune in here on DLLS Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you post-game right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.